The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene back feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's pride. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, my beautiful people? It is Dolly back in the house again tonight. It is good to see so many of you. Damn, I can't even talk. Jumping in the chat so fast. You guys already know the routine. We're talking Leilani Simon. We're talking the Three Little Bears tonight. Okay, but first, make sure you leave your DNA all over that like button just in case you get a protective order on you and you violate it and you go to jail. Dolly's going to come bond you out, okay? Dolly's going to come get you. So leave your DNA. Also, if you're brand new, make sure you sub up, ring that bell for notifications, and feel free to share my ugly face anywhere, long as it's not Pornhub, okay? No damn Pornhub. And let me give my warnings before we get into tonight's show. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, mixed with some theories. We throw a little bit of comedy in there. So don't take nothing you hear here as fact. It's all just opinions. Also, the caller's opinions tonight are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Don't get me sued, people. Also, everyone is innocent to proving guilty in the court of law, even the people we're talking about tonight. Also, the biggest one of them all, don't try to be Dolly at home. I've seen some of you have been trying to be Dolly. I told you it will not work out for you good. It will not work out for you good. So don't do it. All right. So anyway, Monday, people have been asking, is Dolly covering the Leilani trial now that it's going to be aired on TV? Yes. Okay. The big answer is yes. I am going to get my lazy ass up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Court starts at 9. I'll have the stream set up so we can be in here talking about it. And, you know, opening statements are Monday. There's a couple witnesses scheduled. That's the babysitter. And this person right here is going to do Leilani Simon in on day one. It is the worst witness against Leilani. And does anybody know who that is? And y'all want to take a guess? Do y'all want to take a guess real quick who that witness is? Now, I'll tell you, when I met this witness, I think she was 14 years old, about to turn 15. Okay. Now she is 17 years old. How time flies, right? So when I was out there with Leilani Simon, I was standing there streaming, you know, talking, and I looked over and there was a young lady sitting off about, I don't know, about 20 feet from me, and she was just kind of looking over at me, right? So she didn't say nothing at first. She just kind of stood there by herself, just looking over. So I was doing my stream, and then as soon as I wrapped my stream up, she goes, "Hey, are you Dolly?" And I said, "Yeah." And I walked up to her, and this young lady was the daughter of the babysitter. Okay. Now, this little girl is going to be the girl that ties the noose around Leilani's neck. One, she was probably the most well-spoken person that had anything to say about Leilani. Smart girl. She came up and she started telling me stories about the abuse. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think the babysitter knew a lot, but really, when the babysitter had the kid, it was just her, right? But this little girl hung out at Leilani's house and was always over there. She's the same young lady that told me about the incident that took place in the pool. She's the same young lady that told me about Leilani being in the front yard and backhanding Quinton Simon into the street. And this girl is going to single-handedly be the best witness for the prosecution against Leilani Simon. If there's one person that's going to get this girl put in prison for the rest of her life, it is this young lady. And I'm glad she's showing up for court. I'm glad she's brave enough to get in there and testify against Leilani, because you got to remember, at one time, this was Leilani's little friend, right? She let this little girl hang out. She let this little girl watch and hang out and play with Quinton Simon. And this little girl happened to be at the house a lot, just playing in the neighborhood, going over there to go swimming. And just so she knew so much more about Leilani than anybody else around at the time. Other than, of course, Leilani had a best friend that lived in the Azalea Trailer Park, but she's not on the list of people to testify. Now, there is a friend of Leilani's that is scheduled to testify. Now, this friend hadn't been around Leilani in a long time, but she's going to testify to this, that she was on the phone with Leilani and she could hear Leilani abusing Quinton Simon in the background. Never seen Leilani abuse Quinton. So how good of a witness really is she? She heard a baby crying in the background and is going to say Leilani abused her. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you was friends with Leilani and you was on the phone with Leilani and you heard this stuff years ago, you never reported it till now. Now people want to be, oh, I'm a good Samaritan. Let me come forward and let me give information. Now, I'm not defending Leilani in this, but some of the witnesses are put here just simply for a smear campaign. They're going to get up there. They're going to talk bad about Leilani, but not really know anything on Leilani because they wasn't around. This is just people like, oh, yeah, years ago she was, and the girl's story is she told this girl allegedly that if Quinton Simon wasn't around, maybe she would still be with Bubba. Now, she's making it out to be like this girl loved Bubba, but really she was with Danny at the time, right? And I think it's this. I mean, me, myself, and this is just my opinion, is that this little boy reminded her of Bubba, and she didn't like Bubba. For everybody that I met that knew Leilani, they all said she hated Bubba for, I guess, whatever went on in their relationship. Now, when I was down there, I was going to go talk to Bubba, but Bubba had a run of bad luck. And when I mean a run of bad luck, I mean everything that could happen bad in your life happened to this guy. So Dolly never wanted to bother with him, right? I was about to go try to talk to him, but this is how it kind of went down. His mama died. Then his son, Quinton. Then while we were down there, his father was on the side of the road changing a tire and got hit by a car and he died. So the day before his father died, I had found out where Bubba was at. And I was going to go over there and try to talk to him because he wasn't far away. And then later that night, his father got ran over. And then I decided, well, I don't think now is the best time to try to talk to Bubba about anything that's going on. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, Danny may be the key witness, that Danny knows. But me, myself, I think Danny was involved. Okay. He was there. He was lying to the police. Now, I don't know if they worked a deal out with him or not. Most likely, They probably did. Okay. They probably did because, 4 days after this happened, Danny takes off, right? He takes off. And we heard the other day, we heard the 911 call where Danny said the door was open. And then he said, but the door was bolted. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You can't have an open door and a bolted door at the same time. Okay. He could not even keep his lies straight in the phone call to the police and the 911 call. And we could hear Leilani fake crying in the background because now we know, of course, it's fake crying because we know what happened to little Quinton Simon. He was took into the Azalea Trailer Park and he was put in he was wrapped in blankets and he was put in a dumpster and he ended up in the Superior landfill where police searched for months until they found partial remains of Quinton Simon. Them remains were sent to Quantico here in Virginia. They were determined to be human bones and the bones of Quinton Simon. Now, they don't have a full skeleton of Quinton Simon. What they had was enough bones to fit into a little shoebox. Okay. And them bones, of course, was compacted. Trigger warning, guys. This is where the trigger warning in the title comes in. They were compacted. They were crushed. They were ran over by bulldozers. They were buried in a landfill. Then they were drove out there, dug them up, and police sift through all that stuff for months until they found just a little bit of them. And at that point, they came up onto the news and Chief Hatley said, we have found partial remains, what we believe are human bones, and we believe they are Quinton Simon's. Okay. At that point, media was asked them, are y'all going to continue to search, for the rest of the bones of Quinton Simon? And Chief Hatley said at that point that he didn't know. But I can tell you from that point, searching stopped. So sad as this sounds, and I know it's bad and it's pretty trigger warning, brutal, a lot and probably mostly of Quinton Simon is still buried in the Superior landfill. All right. Now, like I said, I believe the most damaging witness that's going to go in there and say that they seen this baby beat on, the craziness of Leilani. They're saying Leilani was under the influence of Percocets, cocaine, marijuana, and those types of things. And she was basically blacked out like if you was drunk. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I don't do those types of drugs to know the exact effect that it would have, but I do know these painkillers are more of a downer, and the Colombian Bam Bam is more of a upper. So it's kind of like a Belushi. She was kind of speedballing, a little up, little down. She was a little all over the place, But to me, it looked like she was coming off the big H, dope. Right now, I don't know if she was doing all of it or what she was doing, but she definitely, and also Danny, they both had a really major drug problem. Now, I find this odd too that, Danny is the father of one of the kids. These kids are in foster care. Why hasn't the father over this last 2 years tried to get his child back? And can you really trust what a drug addict says in court? And what is in Leilani's diaries, right? Her journals that they also took. Now, the only thing they're throwing out that they're not allowed to talk about in court, and I find this crazy because this is one of those things that I brought a whole lot of attention to while I was down there, is what happened in Tybee Island. They cannot talk about that in court. They can't talk about Dolly running up on her. They can't talk about that they were in the hotel with another kid while, they done threw one in a dumpster. All right. So they cannot speak on what went down on Tybee Island. And I was pretty sure they were going to use that in court. Remember, I said, oh, y'all can thank Dolly for that one, right? Because Dolly's people are the ones, turtles are the ones that seen them in Tybee Island and reported it. And that's how I knew to be there. That's how I knew what hotel they were in, what hotel room they were in. I had eyes on them the whole time, okay? Eyes on them the whole time. And none of that can be used. That, when the landfill search started, they were out partying. and they were escorted to Tabby Island by the police. So, which is a little strange because the police knew that there was a lot of people outside of the house protesting. And I guess the police thought it would be more safer for them to leave, and they got escorted out by the police. Now, how often do you hear of a baby killer getting escorted away, but not to jail, to go to a resort? Okay. So her and her mama could party. All right. And they're friends. They went and met some friends. That's the biker guy that y'all seen Dolly getting a confrontation with on court TV. If y'all remember that, or y'all seen that, where he came out there and said I was a loudmouth punk. You're probably right. Dolly is a loudmouth. But you can run, but you can't hide, right? I'll hunt down more people than anybody I know. I'll find you like that. I got turtles everywhere. We almost 60,000 strong. And at that point, everybody in Savannah was watching Dolly, of course. It kind of started with me, and the whole thing kind of ended with me and Leilani going to jail. Okay, that's kind of how it started. It started with me showing up, and then it kind of ended with me and Leilani going to jail. I went to jail first, and then right after me, Leilani went to jail. So that's one thing we both have in common. We both sit in that damn Cheatham County, which is Chatham County, but they like to cheat you down there, right? They hit me with an extra charge that I didn't even do, right? But the crazy thing is I pled guilty to a charge I didn't even commit, okay? Because it was just a fine, right? And I was like, instead of me having to show up to fight it or do anything like that, I just paid the fine, right? So I ate the charge, and of course the major charge against me was dropped. The lady said, hey, if I have to show up to court, I'm showing up in Dolly's behalf, right? Because basically she was paid to harass me by some of these hate channels out here that were lining her pockets with money and paying for her gas and telling her what to say. And they were live streaming her feed just to heckle and cause trouble out there. So there was a lot of people out there that was not there for the best interest of Quinton Simon. And I don't know if y'all remember, that lady was out there screaming, I support baby killers, because she knew she did. She knew she was out there in favor of a baby killer, right? While we're out there trying to be the voice of Quinton Simon, there was people that was paid and put up to this stuff. Now, me and that lady over the years, we've worked things out. She was a homeless lady at the time, and she was just kind of getting by how she could, which is, it sucks to be in a situation like that. And once we realized that and we got to know each other, there was apologies that went both ways. She apologized to me about the things she said about my mother and trying to spit on me and all kinds of stuff. And then, I acted out a character. I got too emotionally attached into this case, and I acted bad. I grabbed a bullhorn out this lady's hands, and I should have never touched the bullhorn. But everything in life is a lesson, right? You got to learn from it, because if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're doomed to commit those same mistakes again. I should have never grabbed that lady's bullhorn. I shouldn't have never lost my temper and called her a bunch of names because she upset me talking about my mother and trying to spit on me and things like that. Now, there's one thing I do not play, and that is I'd rather you come up and hit me than you come up and spit on me. All right? Because one, I don't know what diseases you may have or may not have, right? But that is definitely something I will go to jail over, right? I'm not letting anybody spit on me, man, woman, anybody. Please don't ever get mad at Dolly haters out there and come try to spit on me, because I can promise you I am going to go to jail, right? I am going to go to jail. You do some stuff like that. Now, this woman didn't spit on me, but she was spitting at me. I mean, like trying to hawk loogies at me, right? Like I'm not going to play those types of things. I'm a real human being, right? People see me on YouTube and I don't know what they think. They think they can do anything to me or say anything to me. And I'm not a real person. I'm absolutely a real person. And there's certain lines that I draw in the sand. Like, yeah, you may be able to say some things about me and I don't pay it no mind. But if you assault me, you put your hands on me, you spit on me, right? And we ain't little kids for people to be talking about people's mamas. My mom is deceased and I love my mama very much. To get out there and say something like that is horrific, right? But like I said, this woman was put up to it and she needed the money. Okay. I know what situation she was in. And so, basically like Bullhorn Betty, when you wind somebody up and you put a battery in their back, this is basically what they did to this woman with her dogs. Okay. They paid her to be a horrible, terrible person. And that ended up getting me in trouble. So what they did actually worked. Okay. But I've learned from that. It won't happen again. Right. It definitely won't happen again. So I pretty much know when this little girl takes the stand, which she ain't a little girl anymore. She's 17 years old. Still a young lady, right? Young lady. She is going to do Leilani in. If it ain't between her and Danny, now I think Danny is going to act like he didn't know what happened because that's what he said in the beginning. Anything else, he comes off like a complete liar. And if you lie, the jury's going to say, well, how do we know you're not lying now? That's one of those things. If you lying then, how do we know you ain't lying now? But when this little girl takes the stand that has no reason in this world to lie and was there more than anybody before Danny was even around, right? They're going to believe this little girl. The jury, listen, she comes off so credible that I know for a fact at this point, Leilani's in some big ass trouble. Now, if this little girl didn't testify against Leilani, I would say, man, they don't really have much on Leilani. They don't really have, how did they determine how this baby died? Now, they are saying they took some evidence inside the house, right? But that's real contradicting of what Chief Hadley was saying in the beginning. They were saying they didn't have no evidence. They do think she's the number one suspect, that the baby may be in the landfill. Well, they're saying they do have significant evidence from the day before I got there. All right. The day before I got there, apparently they did spray some luminol and things like that. I had to go back, check the timeline, check the date that I showed up in the day before. That's why when people said they had the window plastered up, I didn't see it because when I was there, they didn't. That's because the day before I got there, they did this. Okay. So maybe Dolly misspoke just a little tiny bit. But after that, they were still saying they didn't have nothing on Leilani. That's why they wasn't arresting her. But now that it's in court, they're saying they do have things against Leilani that at the time were irrelevant, but now they're significant. Okay? You can never believe what the damn police say. You can just never believe the police. Now, I'm going to play some audio for you guys. I can't play the video itself, but it's just a picture of Quinton Simon. But this is from what they said from the body cam worn footage. Okay. It don't show the video of what they're doing or in the house, but this is Danny and Leilani. We heard the 911 call already where he said that he woke up, he seen the baby at 6 a.m. Then he said, he didn't say he went back to sleep, but then later on he says they find the door open. So Danny skips pieces in his story. Originally, 5 something in the morning, they're texting the babysitter that her services is not needed. He says he sees the baby at 6 in the morning, but when he calls the police, he says he finds the door open. Then he says the door is bolted. There's no signs of forced entry, but the kid has been kidnapped. Okay, well, how does he know the kid has been kidnapped if the door is open? Wouldn't you think that the kid walked out the door? All right, may have wandered off, but he went instantly to kidnapping. Now, let me share this video so I can share this audio with you guys. And like I said, this is from the body camera. All right. This channel is known to strike people. So that's why I'm not playing their video. I am just going to play the audio, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of music in the background. Okay. Just a tiny, I'll cut it down real low. That way they cannot strike my channel. Okay. Let me find some music real fast. All right. That's pretty low. That's pretty low. It's just, I don't like that tune. All right. We'll play that in the background. Real low. All right. Now I'll turn this all the way up so y'all can hear it. And this is from the body cam. All right.
Somehow the front door is unlocked and my son is not in his playpen. The 3-year-old son's there, the daughter's there. But my 1-year-old he can't get out of the playpen by himself. He cannot. And he can't even open doors. Yeah, I left for work at 6.
Oh, hold on. Commercial. Hold on, guys. I didn't plan on getting hit with a commercial right off the bat.
She called me at 9 o'clock. And the front door was open, like I said, he's gone. And she said about 2 weeks ago, she told us that she seen a car sitting out front about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
A massive search.
Okay, let me repeat what he said. All right, to you guys. He said that she called him at 9 o'clock and said that he was gone. All right, this is what made Danny come back from work. All right, but if you came back at work at 9 o'clock, how did you find the door open? That was bolted. So Danny has gave such inconsistent statements. It was hard to hear what he says because Leilani is fake screaming and crying in the background. And I have to say, damn, Leilani, you need to move to Hollywood, okay? Because you a hellacious actress. Because we know what happened now, right? We know you took the baby. So you're doing all this to throw off investigators. And so is Danny. Now, this is what Danny says. He says, she called me at 9 o'clock and I came back. She told me that she seen a car sitting outside 2 weeks ago. This is where he come up with the baby's been kidnapped. But listen, if you left at 6 o'clock in the morning, why didn't you call the police when the door was open, right? You seen him at 6, you leave, the door's open. Or did you leave and then come back and the door was open? See, his statements don't make a whole lot of sense. Now, let me cut that music off in the background before it drives me crazy. Okay? I can't take it. It's like elevator music. But right there, you can tell this man is lying. Completely lying. All right? You can't do all the things you're saying and had found this door open because immediately, if she called and said he was gone, she found the door open, right? Which one is it? Did Leilani find the door open or did you find the door open, right? You went to work to build yourself an alibi. People ain't stupid. We've been in the true crime long enough. And this is why Danny's mom didn't want me messing with him. Remember when I was going to roll up in Dunn, North Carolina? And I said, I'm going to come track this dude down. You got some explaining to do. His mom posted something saying that, she'd have me arrested. Don't come around her son. But this man never said a word, right? Because all he would have done was dug himself a grave. Now that it's coming out, like the 911 call, the body camera stuff, which what he said was she called him at 9 o'clock. Then how did you find the door open? She called you and told you the baby was gone. She would have had to know the door was open. But then you call the police and say, you found the door open. You seen him at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the police knows she was at the dumpster then. All right. So you lying. You're like Jen Soto lying, right? You know how she said she seen Maddie and there was no way Maddie's shit was thrown in the dumpster and she was strapped in the car. It's the same thing. So to me, if you're lying to the authorities and you were there when this baby was murdered, you are accessory to murder, dude. You are accessory to murder. I don't give a damn what your mama says. Okay. If I was your mama, I'd be taking up for you too, because her son is just as responsible as Leilani Simon. And when he takes that stand, how the hell do you believe anything he says? Well, you a liar, dude. You're a liar. If you're lying now, how do we know you ain't going to lie in court? I know Leilani's a liar too, right? Leilani. How can we believe anything she says in court? How can we believe anything Danny says in court? But who we can believe is this 17-year-old little girl that don't have a dog in the fight. She don't have a reason to lie. And she was there. Okay. And not there when he went missing, but she was there for a majority of the abuse and how Leilani could go from 0 to 100. Right. And this is what the little girl told me, that even when she would, right when she came out, when they were in the pool, Leilani was calm as anything, not mad, didn't look angry, not nothing. And she said, let me see Quinton. So she swims over, takes Quinton to her. She grabs Quinton out, pulled by the arm, snatches him up by his arm. I mean, she said she about snatched his arm off. Okay. I mean, just ripped him out the pool because he had floaties on. The little girl was scared, he may drown. The little girl had more sense than the mother did. And she's just a young lady at the time, right? I think she was either 14 or 15 years old. I didn't even think she was that old until I seen the story that she's going to testify, and she's 17 now. She must have just turned 17 because I could have swore she was 14 years old when she was telling me the story. That's why I didn't want to tell everybody, hey, a lot of this information is coming from a kid, because I didn't want to put the kid out there, because there ain't too many kids on that block. And I didn't want this little girl to catch hell or anybody start harassing this little girl, or Billy Joe was so violent, right? Because remember, Billy Joe kicked up in the babysitter's house and was trying to fight the babysitter. I didn't want Billy Joe trying to do nothing to this little girl. But most of the information wasn't coming from the babysitter. It was coming from the babysitter's daughter, right? And this little girl is going to be in court to testify, I believe, the first day, Monday. And it's going to be the most damaging thing that the jury possibly hears. So the little girl did the right thing. She is the same little girl when Billy Joe kicked in the house. She cut her phone on, okay? Started filming Billy Joe acting crazy, trying to fight her mama. Right. And I told her, I said, look, make sure you keep that phone with you. Anything happens, make sure you record it. Record everything you can. One day you're going to grow up and be an awesome ass YouTuber, right? That's what I told her. I said, you're going to be a YouTuber one day. Thank God you had that phone with you when she kicked in, because we really got to see what type of person Billy Joe was and how violent she could be when she kicked up in that lady's house. To me, that's breaking and entering, B&E, home invasion type shit. You can't just kick up in somebody's house and try to fight them in their house. If that would have been anybody else, they would be in jail. But listen, Billy Joe can break in somebody's house. She can steal my signs. She can try to fight the lady in her home. But Billy Joe never went to jail. Okay, she did go to jail for violating some shit in court for 10 days. But it was like she knew the police or something, right? Did Billy Joe, I know at one point, she was a prostitute. Did she sleep with the whole police department? That's what I'm trying to think. Hey, listen, I don't know. There was times I felt bad for Billy Joe, but then there was times I was thinking, well, if you hadn't did the things you did, you wouldn't be in this situation, right? And I believe that as far as child neglect charges should have been brought up on Billy Joe, right? Because she neglected the children that she took custody of and left them with somebody that wasn't supposed to have them knowingly, right? If they were bad enough, if social services thought Leilani was bad enough, they took the kids from her and gave them to her, for her just to put those kids back in custody of Leilani, you failed that child. Social services failed that child. I truly believe this, because if they hadn't have put this child back in the exact same home that needed to be removed from, little Quinton Simon would still be here with us today, and he's not. So I hold a lot of people responsible for this. Maybe everybody out here, and I know some of your opinions may vary, but I hold social services responsible. I hold Danny Youngkin responsible. I hold Leilani Simon responsible, and I hold Billy Joe Howe responsible, Paul responsible. He was in that house too that day, right? None of these people did anything to help this baby, save this baby, but yet all these people knew this baby was being abused. Now, here's how it kind of went down. I don't hold the young girl responsible because she didn't know what to do, but what she did do was she went back and told her mother, okay? That's a smart young girl. Okay. She didn't really know to call the social services or what number to call or who, you know what I'm saying? She didn't quite understand all that. She's only a 14, 15-year-old little girl, but she was smart enough to go back and tell her mother what was going on, the babysitter. Now, the babysitter, instead of calling social services, she would go back and report to Billy Joe Howe. and say, well, Leilani's doing this, Leilani's doing that. But then, it ain't like Billy Joe was calling social services and telling on Leilani. She wasn't doing that. So to me, I hold all these people responsible. That saying, it takes a village to raise a baby, and it took a village, the whole village. Nobody really reported what was going on. Now, I don't hold minors responsible. Like I said, I don't think the little girl knew exactly what to do. Most kids don't, but she did the right thing. Is her mother should have reported this to the social services instead of reporting it back to Billy Joe and let, but I guess that's, the kind of thing they had going on down there. But like I said, when this thing hits court, this little girl is going to be the one that hangs Leilani Simon. And I'm glad that she's a witness. I didn't know if they would call this little girl to the stand because, of her age. For some reason, I kept thinking she's a kid, but I forgot. It's been 2 years. She's almost a grown woman. She's going to take the stand at 17 years old. So she will actually be, usually a lot of times when minors testify in a murder case, they take them into the judge's chambers. Okay. And the judge will sit there with the minor child and talk, especially if they're under the age of 13. Okay. They'll go back in the judge's chambers. They won't allow anybody to record it. A lot of times this stuff is not on tape. They can't even show it on court TV. So I'll give you a prime example of that is when I went to the trial of Cody Bigsby. Corey Bigsby was his father. Cody had a brother. His brother was 8 years old. Okay. They didn't bring him into the courtroom. They brought him through the back into the judge's chambers. The judge allowed the prosecutor, the lawyer, and himself to go back there into the judge's chamber, and they set this little boy down and they asked him questions in private with the lawyer, prosecutor, and the judge. Once that was done, they came back out of there and they used that evidence in the court proceedings. Okay. So what they did is they videotaped it and only showed it to the jury. Now I could see it, right? Because of where I was sitting, but they were showing it to the jury, because the jury needs to see what this kid said. And this kid actually climbed up on a table and laid there like he was dead, how he saw his brother. So the jury usually in the case like that, but now I believe the 17-year-old is going to be able to take the stand. All right. She's old enough that she don't have to go back in the judge's chambers. So everybody on court TV should, I'm thinking, get to see what this young lady says. All right. Now let me play this news clip for you guys real quick.
On the news at 6, I'm Mike C.
And I'm Dawn Baker. We'll get to all of that in just a few minutes. But first, a partial win for prosecutors in the case of a Chatham County mother charged with murdering her own toddler. The judge will allow some hotline.
Okay, and real quick before we get too far into this, I want y'all to do me a solid. There's over 1,000 of you in the room right now. I want you to hit the like on this video. Don't be cheating either. I'm watching you. I ain't even got my sunglasses on tonight. I want you to hit the like button, right? And then once you do that, I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching my ugly ass face from, okay? So like the video. Let's see if we can get it to 1,000 likes. Help me out in the algorithm tonight. YouTube's been hating on me a little bit. They ain't been sharing my videos out. So you guys help me out. Hit the like button. All that good stuff.
I listen to everything.
You listed. Okay, I'll get to that after this video. We got an announcement to make.
Contested evidence to be used during the trial.
WTOC's Flynn Snyder is live at the Chatham County Courthouse. And Flynn, the battle over this evidence has lasted now for months.
Yeah, Mike, Don, that's right. Good evening. Once again today, prosecutors introduced text messages, interview recordings, and cell phone video that they say show Leilani Simon's mindset at the time of her toddler's disappearance. Prosecutors say this evidence and this info is central to why they believe Simon killed her 20-month-old toddler and discarded his body in a dumpster. A partial about face in the Leilani Simon trial. Judge Tammy Stokes ruling today that prosecutors can present evidence they say shows Simon's fraught relationships and drug use at the time of her toddler Quinton's death. It comes after Judge Stokes initially blocked the evidence earlier this year. During the at times combative proceedings today, prosecutor Jenny Parker said the evidence should be allowed as it shows personal stressors in Simon's life pushed her to become a desperately unhappy woman. Exacerbated by her drug use, Parker says Simon became so low and desperate that the mother killed her 20-month-old toddler Quinton so she would be loved. Simon's lawyers pushed back, saying the evidence is only being used to make her look bad. Defense attorney Robert Perks exclaiming they had their hearing, the evidence was excluded, and how many bites of the apple do they get? Potential witnesses also took the stand Thursday, including Simon's former friend and the daughter of Quinton's babysitter. Judge Stokes ruled their testimony is also admissible, as prosecutors aim to show what they say is Simon's animosity towards Quinton's father, and by extension, Quinton, plus Simon's abuse of the 20-month-old. In total, 7 of the 10 pieces of evidence were ruled admissible. Simon has pleaded not guilty to the charges and appeared to shake her head and tear up during the hearing. Her toddler's disappearance sparked a multi-agency weeks-long search before his remains were found in a local landfill back in 2022. The case that gained national attention now rolling full steam ahead to opening statements expected to begin next week. So this all comes as a jury still needs to be seated for this trial.
And the jury was seated today. This is from a few days ago, this news report, but they have selected the jury. And from what I understand, the majority of the jury is men. You don't see this a lot in juries. Usually the majority of jurors are women in cases. But in Leilani Simon's case, the majority of the people are men. There's 7 men. All right. So dudes rule, girls drool. Okay. But here's the thing. Will guys feel sorry for you? That's the thing. Like, there was times that I knew she was a cold-blooded killer, but I did feel sorry for her because of her life, that, she grew up with, being abused herself. This is learned behavior. Her mama was a prostitute. There's things that will make you feel bad for Leilani Simon. There actually is. She's still a monster murderer that killed her baby, right? But this takes a few dudes to feel sorry for her, right? And don't want to see her go to prison. And, these murder charges get dropped. And we still don't know her defense at all, right? We don't know what she's going to say she did to this baby, right? Will she go with the Casey Anthony defense? The baby fell down the stairs, the baby drowned, something like that. And she just covered it up. She was scared. But the video they were talking about, when in court, was Leilani put out a video basically where she was hinting to she wanted to unalive herself. She didn't exactly say she wanted to unalive herself, but she was saying goodbye to her family and she was crying. They showed this video in court, right? When they were going through evidence they couldn't use. And Leilani broke down into tears. All right. Now, we know she's good at fake crying, right? And sometimes when you look over and you see a little young girl, and most older people, their parents, they see somebody that, I have a daughter. So when I see these young girls crying, would I feel bad for you? Maybe, right? But I'm into true crime. I know murderers and monsters come in all shapes and sizes. Even though she was 22 years old, she's still a monster, right? I've seen monsters as young as, 15, 16 years old. So it ain't like, you're a kid anymore. You're a grown adult. You should have adult responsibility. So I can't feel but so bad for you. I feel bad that you've thrown your life away and you chose to go sit in prison for the rest of your life, because that's a choice you made. You didn't have to kill this baby. There's all these safe havens for children, hospitals, fire stations, police stations, and you can drop these babies off and they won't charge you with anything. They won't charge you with neglect. They won't charge you with abandonment, but you have to leave the baby at one of these safe havens, right? And she could have done that. She had a vehicle. She had a vehicle to go throw the baby away, right? Well, what you should have done is went to the fire department. You should have went to the police station. You should have went to a hospital and gave that baby to them. And right now, you would still be living your best life, doing all the drugs you wanted to do, not taking responsibility as an adult, but you chose this. This was a choice, right? You just like you chose to do drugs. Nobody forced drugs into Leilani's body. Okay. Nobody held her down and made her do Colombian Bam Bam and all these painkillers she were on. Now, I think they're going to use in the defense, as far as the painkillers go, that these were prescribed to her because right as this was going on, she had a tooth pulled. She had some dental work done. And, you know, she had just had a child, you know, and PJ thinks she's going to use that postpartum defense, right? So a lot of people really don't even know what she's going to say yet. Now, let me get through this video.
Jurors were not in court today, partly because of the impacts from Hurricane Milton. Jury selection expected to resume tomorrow. We're live in Savannah. Flynn Snyder, WTOC News.
Okay, so yeah. So today her jury was selected, okay? They decided who the jury were going to be. They picked 12 jurors, 4 alternates, and court starts up Monday, opening statements. And like I said, from what I understand, the first 2 witnesses are Diane, the babysitter, all right, and she is a sweet lady, all right, and her daughter. Now, there was something I wanted to announce. PJ! Come here for a minute. Let's make this announcement on the new stuff we have on the site. Okay, so just a little information real quick. I have been working on a ton of stuff today for the Dolly merch store. New Dolly soaps, holiday soaps. PJ has a list of all the stuff we've been working on. PJ has made an awesome product herself that's on the store for sale. Do you have the list?
I didn't write. I sent myself the email and then went off of the email. So
Can you pull it up real fast so we can let people know what's going on?
my phone was dying, so I put my phone on the charger. But I mean, I actually was posting the links to the couple of products as I was posting them on the uncensored site because that's the
Yeah, but these people don't know what that is. They're not on the uncensored site.
No, in the chat
Oh, you were posting them in the chat?
as the uncensored.
Okay,
account.
well, go get the list and I'll come back to this.
I have to write it out. Okay.
Okay, and I'll just take some calls on this
Okay.
before I get into the. Well, I worked on a whole bunch of new holiday soaps. We got a new promo code. PJ has been working on a new line of lip balms. Okay, so look, it's the best lip balm in the game. It's wintertime. Don't walk around with chapped lips. Okay, not only do we smooth your skin out with Dolly lotions, but now we done made some chapstick. We got brand new soaps, pumpkin spice, all the holiday cookies, whole bunch of cool stuff for the holidays. And of course, here's one big thing I do want to tell you guys. When you buy Dolly soap the next 2 months, okay, we're taking 25% of everything that is made off of the Dolly soap, and we're putting that into a Christmas wish campaign. Now, for you guys that have been following me, you know, every Christmas, I buy a few families Christmas. Last year, we bought Brandy Neal, the mother of Michael Vaughn. Okay. We bought her kids Christmas. All right. We also bought, since I covered the Quinton Simon case, we picked a family from Chatham County. Okay. That had 2 autistic sons, and we bought their Christmas. Also, a guy named Smoke that was going through a hard time, had gotten a car crash. And what we do is every year we let you guys submit letters to us telling us about one of your family members or somebody that needs Dolly's help for Christmas. And we buy their Christmas. Okay. So the way I'm able to do this is I'm going to take 25% of all sales, not 25 cents, 25% of the profits that are from this, and put it into this fund to buy a few families Christmas this year. So not only can you get clean, have smooth skin, unchapped lips, right, and smell great, but you will also be helping out at least 3 families this year. Okay. We haven't picked the 3 families, of course, because we're going to wait till it gets closer to Christmas. And we do it every year here live. So for the last 2 years, I've done this, right? And sometimes I put up Amazon wish lists for these families so you guys can help contribute to it. But this year, the way we're going to fund it is through the merch. When you buy merch, 25% of that goes to our Christmas wish fund, and we're going to help these 3 families. So not only can you be clean, smell great, but you will do a good deed for a family in need. All right. Now, before I open the phone lines, I want to talk about the 3 little bears. You know, we got to talk in code a little bit when we talk about certain cases, because some of these people are lawsuit happy. They like to drag you into court, things like that. So by now, y'all been watching me. Y'all know who the 3 little bears are. There's Papa Bear, there's Step Bear, there's Mama Bear, and there's a baby bear, but that baby bear is missing and hasn't been seen in almost 8 months. So, you know, we're at the point now, do these bears, you know, some people say Daddy Bear does want people looking, right? But then, you know, they threaten with all these lawsuits and I'm going to sue you and lawyers. And if you do not talk in favor of either side, like say you don't like something they're doing, then they don't like you. Okay. Then they don't want you talking about it. Okay. PJ has a list of all the stuff we've made. Do you want to go over it, PJ?
I can read the list.
Okay. PJ is going to read the list of a lot. How many new things did I do?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So I've made 5 new soaps. Okay. And then of course I made the ones that I always make, like my raspberry lemonade, my pink sugar, my love spell, pumpkin spice.
It's not pumpkin spice, it's pumpkin cake.
Pumpkin cake. Okay. Pumpkin cake. And I do want to give a shout out to Short Legs. Short Legs has been sending us a ton of essential oils that have helped us out a lot. Thank you so much, Short Legs. Don't think we forgot about you. We haven't. Every week I go to my door and she's sent me a whole thing of essential oils for different smells. I don't know if it's a smell she likes, but she has been sending us a ton of stuff. She sent me a bunch of Where's the Baby. So we have, of course, we have the Where's the Baby soap. Okay. We'll have, we used to call it Katie Come Clean, but we just call it Come Clean now, and Berries and Cream. What else is there, PJ?
I didn't list either of those yet.
Okay.
Those are the ones that hadn't gotten done yet. I only listed the ones that we had. There's, I called it Halloween, but it's like a fall autumn scent.
Okay. Our Halloween soap, which is a fall autumn scent.
Another new one was the Lavish Lavender.
Lavish Lavender. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about this lavender soap.
For a while now.
For a while. So finally, guys, y'all will get some lavender
And
soap.
the lavender is based from where I'm from in Croatia. It's like a Mediterranean scented oil from like a lavender from the Mediterranean.
Okay, it's Mediterranean lavender.
We did cake. It was supposed to be birthday cake, but I just shortened it to cake.
Okay, so we have our cake soap back.
I wanted to do that because that's one of the scents that Short Leg sent
Uh-huh.
was a cake. And when we had our birthday and then you had your heart attack. So that's from that.
Thanks for reminding me about the heart attack.
And then I named it Turtle at the Barbershop.
Turtle at the Barbershop. Okay.
But that one is basically like a manly cologne scent.
Okay. So that's one of our man soaps.
And then another new one is Beach.
Beach.
And it smells like what we smelled when we were walking down the beach.
Yeah, it's got a kind of a breezy kind of. Yeah, I know. That does smell good too. That smells really good. Also, we have the Armani, which I call Dolmani. Okay, back in stock. Plus, we have the lotions, body washes. We don't have everything in body wash. And of course, PJ has been working on chapstick. Now
that was such a pain.
Now how many, you made 4 different ones?
Yeah, and I did about 12 of each, so it's very limited.
Very limited
I mean, it's hard
on the chapstick.
That.
Okay, now what is it, like the different flavors?
Yeah, one is French vanilla, and I named that one Frenchy Van. And then there's just the regular strawberry, raspberry, and strawberry, raspberry, French vanilla, and bubblegum.
Bubblegum. Okay. So, also we brought back our cotton candy soap.
Mystery box.
We got the new mystery boxes.
It's called the premium mystery box.
We have a regular mystery box and a premium mystery box.
And the premium is gonna have like high-end stuff in it.
Okay, so the premium one.
I can't wait.
Okay,
But it's got the large priority shipping box. And so the shipping is just a little bit more for that because it comes in the large box and not the medium.
okay. So that's the large mystery box. We have a small mystery box now, and we have a large mystery box. Is there a promo code?
I haven't done that yet. The washer flaps is still for all of it, 10%.
Okay.
And I didn't know how much
Wash
we
your
were gonna do
flaps is 10% off.
for everything except for the mystery box.
Let's do Happy Halloween
Okay.
because that's the next holiday. Happy Halloween. Everybody can remember that. And let's do it for 15% off.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Add
Okay.
that promo code.
Okay.
All right.
It's just not going to be on the boxes because the boxes are like for the $50 box, you get about $75 worth of product. And for the $100 box, you get about $125 worth.
Uh-huh.
So it's already highly discounted. So I've never discounted those, but
Okay.
everything else gets the discount.
Okay. Y'all heard that, right? That's the producer. But yeah, we got a lot of new stuff for you for the holidays, for Christmas. We're definitely going to have some more Christmas scents when, next month in November. That way, Dolly soap, Dolly lotions, Dolly bath washes, now PJ lip balm. So we got a lot of cool stuff for you, especially for the holidays. It makes great gifts. And like I said, 25% of our sales are going to our Christmas wish fund. So we can bless at least 3 families this year. If we could do 5 families, it would be twice, 2 more people than we did last year. I want it to grow. So eventually we can help more and more people, especially around the holidays, because we know this has been a rough year for everybody, especially with all the hurricanes and the storms, and it's just been crazy for everybody, right? So I know there's a lot of people in need, and I wish I could help more than we can, but I'm only one person. I can only do what I can do, but we're going to do our best to make sure at least a few families out here have an awesome Christmas. Okay. So anyway, back to the 3 little bears. That's enough for, and look, you can check that out at buydollysoap.com. We got shirts, hoodies, all that stuff, our soaps, our lotions, bath bombs, everything you can think of is right there at buydollysoap.com. So the 3 little bears, mama bear, step bear, daddy bear. It's been crazy. You would have to ask PJ that. Is it hyperallergenic? I don't know. What allergies do you got? We don't make it with peanut oil. Okay. So you should be good. We've never had, anybody have a outbreak of anything or anybody have allergic reaction to our soap. It's made with all natural ingredients. Okay. So you should be good. My question, has been, do these people want us to find baby bear, right? He's been missing so long, and we see, hold on, producer's talking again.
The only thing that I've heard as far as an allergy, some people have an reaction to the mica powder. And it's only been like 2 people.
Okay.
The coloring.
Uh-huh.
And so like I wouldn't get like the bright red, but everything else.
Yeah, if you just the mica, so you would have to go with the Where's the Baby.
Mm-hmm. That have no coloring in it.
Yeah, anything that is solid white, any of our white soaps that we don't use coloring in. So you should be good. But as far as everybody else, I haven't heard anything.
But I mean,
about
if somebody has severe allergies, I wouldn't, just to be.
Yeah, if you have
'Cause, like,
severe allergies, you probably don't get the soap. You know what I'm saying? Don't get the soap. That's the best way, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't had anybody hit me up and say they've had any problems
It was
with
just
anything.
one person.
So yeah, but
And it's been a long time ago. Yeah.
how many bars? Thousands of bars of
We've
soap.
literally sold thousands of bars of soap.
Yeah, so
But that was the person that was extremely allergic to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like she probably should.
I mean, if you want something that's unscented, uncolored, I mean, I can make you something, but that would be like a custom order. You would just have to hit me up and be like, I got allergies. I need something that's uncolored, unscented. But most soap that you buy in the store is colored and scented. So if you can use the store soap, you can use my soap for sure. All right. Because my shit's way better than the stores. So, could you do a fall winter scent candles? I haven't made any candles. PJ, do we have any candles left? I think we do.
Yeah.
We have some purple.
And there was people that were leaving emails asking when the candles were going to be back in stock. So I went back in to make sure they were still listed active. I still have 4 purple haze. People really bought those. I don't know how they ended up still there, but there's 4 purple haze and 6 lily.
6 lily. So we have some candles. We have some of the purple haze candles, some of the lilies. If there are any of the strawberry ones?
No.
Okay, strawberry ones are sold out. So we have some candles left. I haven't made none in a little while because the last time I did a run of candles, I made a lot of them. So, but we're on, what did you say? We got about 10 left? 6 of the lily, 4 or 5 of the. Okay. So we got about 10 candles left. If you want a candle, get them quick. Okay.
They sell fast. That's why I was thinking it might have like unlisted itself or something because
they do sell quick. We sold a bunch of them. We're selling them 2, 3 at a time, so they went fast. So anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's it, guys. Okay, that's it for the Dolly commercial. So like I said, back onto the 3 little bears. At this point, you know, we're seeing these people spend more time battling YouTubers and in court. And if you don't pick a side, just say you, like me, Dolly in the middle, and you don't speak highly of this side, they made threats that they're gonna sue you and do this stuff to you. And if you talk bad about this side, it seems like they're trying to weaponize the court system to shut you up. So really, what is it doing? Wouldn't you, if you have a missing bear, okay, hypothetically, you got a missing little bear, and wouldn't you want everybody talking about it? And here's the thing, if you don't like a certain creator's opinion, you can always tune that out, right? Like you don't have to listen to them. Nobody forces you. Like, look, there's 1,182 people here. Were any of you guys forced to be here? All of you were. If you won't, I'd be mad at you. Okay. No, I'm just playing. But nobody, I didn't twist anybody's arm to get you here tonight. I did post, hey, come tune in. I think I put tune in, drop out, you know, a little hint to the 60s. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was forced to be here. So if you, I always recommend this. If you're a parent of a missing bear, okay, a cub, if you got a cub missing, YouTube is not the place for you. You're not going to be happy what people say, right? Because, you know, in true crime, we speculate, right? We throw theories out there, and you may be involved in one of these theories that people bring up or the speculation that people bring up, and you might not want to hear it. And Dolly, you know, I'm part comedian, right? So I'm going to be joking people, and it's nothing personal. You know, like I pick on some of the bears' haircuts, okay? We had the Post Malone bear, all right? Remember he had the braids, and he looked like he was from the damn Viking movie, right? Or he was going to crip walk. And then we had, you know, of course, the damn mullet from hell. The mullet from hell. It looked like a chupacabra was attacking somebody's head that had mange. You can't make it up. But that's Dolly just picking. But when people hear that stuff, and, you know, people don't like to be joked. They like to, you know, say things, joke people themselves. But when it's getting joked, they don't like it too much. And, you know, like I said, we don't want to get caught up in any of their craziness of what they got going on, trying to turn this into a circus, when really it should be about awareness for all these little missing cubs out there, right? So they done made it where people don't want to say the names and different things, right? And I think that is so bad, because you look at a lot of people, like, let's just say people that have a lot of subscribers. Remember, JLR was talking about it. JLR has 300,000 subscribers now, right? He ain't talking about it. Pascal, he ain't talking about it, right? I'm watching what I say, because I don't want to be involved with nothing with these people, because I'm just trying to bring awareness to a situation. Grandma and Grandpapa Bear, things that make you go, well, you know, yeah, there's a lot of it that is very suspicious. All right. And they don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that, or they don't like to hear, you know, that some of them may be opportunists, that, you know, that they should have probably took some of these fundraisers and money and put that towards a reward, right? Because if it wasn't for the police and, you know, other people putting up money or allegedly putting up money, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the reward actually is. But if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't have been no reward. And we've seen people raise a lot of money, but none of that money really went to the baby bear or to help find the baby bear. Maybe it did, you know, allegedly, maybe it did, going to flyers and yard signs and things like that. But it was a lot of money. And then it just seemed to be gone, right? Like, and then the whole thing was, well, we wasn't raising money for baby bear. We were raising money for a family member. Okay. Like, that's a little sketchy, right? A little sketchy right there. So at this point, we see now that, you know, we got some fake investigators. Well, they're real investigators, but they're YouTube investigators, which means, hey, if you're a YouTube investigator, even I'm a sleuth. Okay. I don't consider myself an investigator. You know, some of these people have actual investigating licenses and they couldn't find you if you were standing next to them. Okay. I mean, if you were right next to them, 10 feet in the water, they couldn't find your ass. All right. So there's, you know, to me, you may be a real investigator, but you a shitty one. Okay. Just, I hate this. And we see these people out there now acting like they're taking part, but we don't see, I ain't saying they don't. We don't see them in the woods. We don't see them doing, you know, the Hatfield and McCoy chasing buzzards. We don't see any of that. We see them standing on the side of the road taking selfies. All right. Is that really, really searching for the missing cub? I don't know. Right. I don't personally know. I feel like some of this is for show and it's a little late. And we go into this. What mama bear and what step bear leaves the den when their cub is missing? Okay. When the cub is missing, you leave that den and you go to a whole nother den in another state. Okay. But what if baby bear comes home? Who is home to get baby bear? Grand bears, they done left the state. Mama bear and step bear have left. Papa bear don't live anywhere near the house. He's, let's just say, you know, hypothetically, you know, an hour away. There's nobody there for baby bear. And, you know, at the time baby bear goes missing, there ain't no security. There's no security systems. Just vanishes. Boom. Not caught on camera. No signs, though, of foul play to baby bear. We got to be fair all the way around it. Baby bear could have ran away because there's no signs of foul play. But here's the thing. There's also no signs of baby bear running away. And now I know these people don't like this, but they got to understand that this is how the internet works. We throw out theories. We speculate. We cover every avenue. If you did it, if you didn't do it, you might have did it. You might not have did it. Everything that can be discussed, especially on this channel, because this is a discussion channel, is going to be discussed. And sometimes we're going to discuss things that you shouldn't hear. You probably should tune out. And if you're a parent of a missing child and we're speaking on that, don't tune into my show because I don't want to personally upset you. I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm up here to bring awareness and to entertain. And sometimes in that entertainment, I say jokes and say we talk about things that you probably shouldn't hear. My best recommendation for any family out there with a missing child is to turn YouTube completely off. It's not the place for you. You shouldn't be getting mad. You shouldn't be trying to sue people for their opinions. You shouldn't be trying to put people in jail that ain't going to hurt you. A lot of us in this true crime thing, I ain't talking trauma. I'm talking about in true crime. We've been doing this for years. Nobody's gotten hurt in those years. There may have been some conflict, but nobody's gotten hurt. Okay. And I don't think it's going to start today. People from YouTube hurting people that have missing kids. Okay. We may do things you don't like. We may show up at places you don't want us. But far as you being in danger, I don't think you're in danger from anybody. Now, I could be wrong, right? Because there's some fucking crazy people. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. So, I mean, people tell me that. They be like, yo, some of these people are unhinged. But listen, none of these unhinged people have really hurt anybody yet. I think for the most part, most people in true crime are harmless. I ain't talking about Krama. Now, Krama, you got some fucking from Fruit Loops. All right. Like everybody is like, they only cover true crime, right? So people will watch so they can bitch about other YouTubers. That's what Krama is. For anybody that don't know, it's crime and drama. But you got to have drama. So you got to have an enemy, right? So you got to pick somebody that you don't like and you got to constantly attack them, right? That's how Krama works on the internet. True crime, we just got to get up here and talk about crime, right? Now, there was times where I got caught up last year and, you know, they'll try to suck you into a Krama channel, right? They'll try to make you into a Krama channel, even though your passion is true crime. Once people start talking about you, you know, it's only human nature to want to defend yourself, right? But as soon as you go to defend yourself, now you're a Krama channel, right? Once you say F these people, they are the ones that are grifters. They're the ones that are lying. They're the ones that really don't care about true crime. They really care about drama, but they use that so people will tune in, right? Then you get sucked into it and you become a damn Krama channel. See, I got sucked into it last year, but when 2024 started, I said, listen, I don't care what people say. You can talk shit about me. You can talk shit about my mama. You can talk shit about my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go back and forth with you because none of these channels are really worth my time. And they only get to so many subscribers and then they peak out because more people care about true crime than they do drama. It's a small audience for drama. There's a huge audience for true crime because people really want to know what's going on with this case. They don't care about F this YouTuber, F that YouTuber. This person's banging that person. This person's stealing money. You know, people really don't. The majority of people, they want information. They want to know what's going on in the case. They want to know Leilani's going to court Monday. They want to know who's testifying against her. They want to know what they're going to say. They want to know about the little baby bear that's missing. They want to know if there's any updates on that stuff. They don't really care. The majority of people don't really care about who's fighting with who. There's a small audience for it. So my thing is this, and when these parents, right, they think they're coming up onto a true crime channel and they come up onto a Krama channel. Now, listen, most of these parents, if you look at Quinton Simon, Billy Joe was going on every Krama channel she could, right? People that stir things up. Baby Bear stepdad, all he shows up on is Krama channels. He don't show up on true crime channels, right? Because true crime channels may ask you tough questions. Krama channels are going to bash whoever's against you, right? So just say Step Bear goes up onto a Krama channel. That Krama channel is going to attack whatever channel is saying you're suspicious. All right? They'll be going in. That's why so many people go at me, is because they're Krama, right? You don't hear me going at all these people because I don't want to be a Krama channel. I am a true crime channel. When you come here, I want you to get true crime every day, right? Or you'll get a Dolly adventure of me just hanging out, kicking it, regular life stuff. But when I come here and put my show up, my show is based on true crime. It's not based on what this channel's doing, what that channel's doing, this other channel's doing. None of that. It's going to be based on what you see in the title. Leilani Simon tonight, the three little bears, and, you know, do these bears want the cub found? Now, let's open up the phone line. I want to hear from you beautiful people. Like I said, we're talking to three little bears, so keep it on that, right? You know, code tonight. Dolly.
Hello.
Hello.
I heard someone has a birthday coming.
Okay, I knew that was a troll. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, Granny.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I've been practicing my crip walk today.
Have you, Granny? You can crip walk?
Well, I have to be careful. I have to hang on to the walker.
Uh-huh.
It's gnarly looking, but I got it down.
You got it. Now, I knew you could get it, Granny. Okay, what about the braids? Are you going to get the braids?
No, I'm not going to get the braids.
All right. What about some Chuck Taylor? You got to have Chuck Taylor's the Crip Walk.
Well,
Dickies. You got to have Dickies and Chucks.
I got Chucks.
Uh-huh.
I got to get me some Dickies.
Okay.
And my hair's just gonna pulled up, kind of on the top, but it's not braided.
I've been working on
Don't
my
want-
Crip Walk today too, Granny.
Yeah, I'm natural at that Crip Walk.
Okay. All right.
I think it's because I'm old.
Well, maybe we can get Papa Bear to join us one time. We have a triple Crip Walk.
You reckon?
Yeah. I mean, he might be down. You never know. I don't think he holds a grudge. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
They need to lock all three of them up. They do.
Lock everybody up. Then we know the guilty person's in jail. How about that?
That's right. Do like my daddy did. Line all those kids up.
Uh-huh.
Even the one that did it don't admit it. Y'all get your ass whooped.
There you go, right? You don't admit it.
That way.
I'd never confess. Everybody get beat in my house then, because I ain't never telling it.
Well, most of the time we did, whether we confessed or not, because the older ones knew that the younger one had done it. So,
Granny, we should have us a Crip Walk contest up here. You know what I'm saying?
We
See who can do the best Crip Walk.
We'll have to film it and post it and let people vote. I'm telling you, I got a bad Crip Walk.
Okay. I'm half
Yeah.
Crip. I don't know about Crip Walk. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting close to the walker myself.
I got to give me some of them baggy Dickies.
Yeah, you got to get the Dickies, and you got to get the Loke shirt. You know what I'm saying? Just button one at the top, and you wear a T-shirt underneath and leave the rest unbuttoned.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Put me some sunglasses
You got to get the hand motion right, because it's all about that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Get your hand motion going and kind of bend your back a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Start hopscotching.
Yep, they need to lock all three of them up. There's something.
Bears are wild. You know what I'm saying?
This is just,
it's hard to trust a bear.
they all have got something to do with it. The way I look at it, lock them up until somebody talks. Somebody knows what happened.
I think so too. I mean, that's what I truly believe, but I mean, I just have no proof of it. It's just me speculating, in my opinion.
Well, we all know what. Some of them know what happened.
I think
If not
either
all
way,
three.
Granny, I think either way something bad has happened. If the kid has ran away, I think something bad has happened. And if something in that house happened, something bad has happened. So
I have held out hope that he's still alive, but with each day that goes by, my light gets a little bit dimmer.
it's hard
And
not to, you know, you try to hold all the hope and faith you can that everything's going to work out. But the longer it goes, it's like, oh my God, this is not good, you know,
It's not good.
and not one's real legitimate sighting of this cub,
I know.
you know.
And I'm just afraid some hunter that's hunting this year is going to come across some bones.
Yes.
And I'm like,
You know,
Lord God.
I mean, if this bear is no longer with us, he needs to be brought back home either way.
Yes, and justice needs to be served
Yes.
very swiftly.
Unless it's an accident. But if there's any signs that there's some foul play, justice does need to be served. But we can't 100% rule out the possibility of accidents happen.
Well, if it was an accident, some of them still had to know about it.
Well, you know, either way we look at it, there's a reason. If he ran away, there's a reason he did.
That's right. There's a reason.
You know.
But I think they ought to lock all three of them up. But you know how I am.
Yeah.
But Saya,
I don't know who that. I don't know who that is.
Sean.
Oh, Sean Bear,
Sean Bear.
Papa Bear.
Yeah, Sean Bear, Papa Bear, Stepdaddy Bear, Mullet Bear.
Mullet Bear.
And, Dumb Butt Mama. They need to lock all of them up. Somebody, man, I can't believe they've held their mouth closed this long without cracking under pressure.
Well, you know, they're trying to stop the pressure. If you silence everybody or you make everybody not want to say nothing, then there ain't really no pressure to worry about.
I'm telling you, everybody needs to be real upset about what they doing to Betty. This is not about Betty. This is about our rights. our constitutional rights.
Yeah, I think a lot of hate for her blinds people to what's right and wrong.
She's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely ain't
But
mine either.
I don't want no harm to come to her, and I don't want for her to be silenced, because if they can do it to her, they'll do it to us.
Well,
So,
if a judge out there has a problem with me telling the story to 3 little bears and a bowl of porridge, then you know your rights are being violated.
that's right.
All right,
Now,
Granny.
You take it easy now. Well, I got that crib walk down. We're going to have to get together.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll trade crip walks.
Watch top knot.
All right, Granny. Peace.
Peace.
All right, so Granny crip walking, right? She said she got it down. She learned the whole crip walk in one day. One day. Ollie.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Rose
Hey, Rose. What's going on with you?
from Virginia.
Volume fam, I was talking about the Mendez brothers just the other day. Okay, but tonight I'm not. But we will go over that one day, maybe this week. Okay, what's up, Rose?
I've had to learn how to crip walk with my butt cheeks.
You're crip walking with your butt cheeks. That's a little weird.
We're-
I think they call
Well,
that twerking. I think that's twerking. You got the dance wrong. You twerking.
Well,
Granny's crip
no,
walking.
because I know crip walking, and I like watching those little videos with Snoop and Ice Cube and them. And I get into the music, but I have problems with my bones. I'm a very healthy person, but I'm crooked as hell. I look like the letter S. It's kind of growing into that. So I have to walk with a crutch, and every once in a while I get enough energy to do a little cripping with my crutch. But mostly, I'm watching TV, sitting here on the sofa. So I'm getting into music, and my butt cheeks are crip walking. It's just hilarious. Anyway.
Okay. Well, don't throw your back out twerking there, Rose.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask, where is the dog in the 3 Little Bears story?
Dog.
What happened to that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Honestly, maybe he's still, looking, and we just don't know about it because maybe he's not broadcasting everything. I mean, that's what some people say about step bear and mama bear is, how do you know what they're doing? Maybe they're not broadcasting it. Thank you, Christy Ford.
Yeah.
Let me read this super chat real fast before I get. At the very least, mama bear and step bear should be charged with neglect. At this point, papa bear too. They lost an autistic bear, FFS, and that means for F sakes. I think you're absolutely. I mean, I don't know if they should.
I agree. Am I on the phone, or
yes,
yes,
they can hear you. And welcome aboard. Welcome aboard the Dolly train, Christy. I meant to tell you, board up, get you a nice seat, buckle up. It may get bumpy. Go ahead, Rose.
I agree with what that you just read, because it is neglect. I mean, you want to make us believe your child was autistic and kind of dumb. I mean, I'm sorry to use that word, but if he was left alone for 15 hours a day, it looks like in both households, I think that little baby bear was smarter than anybody.
Smarter than you, like Yogi, smarter than your average bear.
And maybe he did run away. I sometimes would like to believe that. And the question remains, the song remains the same. What did the little baby bear accuse certain people, certain bears of? That question has been just, really obliterated. It's like it doesn't exist anymore.
I know this. CPS was called on both bears. Step bear and papa bear. And that's a lot of, there's, usually where there's smoke, there's fire.
There's a little fire, right? Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, when last night, I called in twice last night. I don't know if you remember, but.
I remember.
Jimmy, you're my friend.
I remember, Rose. How you hard to forget.
What you were playing last night about the mullet bear. And the woman sitting next to him, was that the mama bear?
Yeah, mama was bear was there.
I didn't recognize her.
Illuminati bear and Cletus bear.
Did Mama Bear really balloon up? Does she have cubs on the way, or what's going on?
I mean, I think, you know, I don't really pick on people's personal appearance unless it's their, you know, hair or something. They do something silly, but yeah, they look like they put on a little bit of weight.
Is that stress eating or happy eating?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know which one they are, but I mean, by
well, I'm
far,
not trying to make fun of people either for blowing up a little. I mean, it's not like I'm a bone just because I have the letter S bone.
yeah, even my weight fluctuates. Sometimes I get real skinny, and then sometimes I plump up like a chipmunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, it was just extremely noticeable. You know.
Yeah, I usually gain weight in the wintertime because I'm not as active because it's cold and I kind of hibernate.
It's not winter yet.
I know. That's why I ain't ballooned up yet.
So, okay. So I'm not trying to make fun of people who have weight. I have weight. Okay. I'm just saying I didn't recognize the person sitting next to.
Oh, I know.
The mullet.
Yeah. When I first seen Step Bear, right? Mullet Bear.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him. I thought it was somebody else. And then they were like, no, that's Step Bear. And I was like, oh shit. Remember he had the bright orange shirt on and the crazy hair.
Yeah.
I'm so used to seeing him more clean cut and with the hat and his hair shorter. I didn't even really recognize him until everybody was like, no, Dolly, that's him. And I was like, oh shit.
Well, I think Step Bear is realizing that the fur is getting thin on top, and so he's trying to compensate by growing that real long down the back.
It don't work. I tried that for a long time. It don't work. Just own it. Be happy that you've lived this long.
Yeah, just cut it all off and have a nice clean look.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just get it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just losing hair in front. You know, I got hair in the back. It's just right there in the front for me wearing hats for so many years.
Well, that's because you're so smart and you think so fast. I mean, something had to give, you know?
Something had to give. Yeah, I guess so. You know what I'm saying?
The top of the hair just said, man, this brain needs more room.
I'm just going to get me some of them chia pet seeds. But anyway, Rose, we're out of time. You be good. You stay safe. And it's always awesome talking to you.
Thank you, dearest.
All right. Be good. Peace.
Peace.
Okay, so there you have. She thinks the bear should be in jail. Okay. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, this is Brooke from Tennessee. How are you?
Hey, Brooke, I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel awesome.
Good. I'm glad you made it good. I wanted to make two statements. On the Quinton Simon case, I haven't been following it much. I have a grandson that's that age, and it just hurts my heart to hear that stuff.
It's hard not to. That little kid, you know, he didn't stand a fighting chance, and he's being abused from, you know, he was 20 months old when he died, but he was being abused even before that. So,
yeah,
and
they said they'd leave him in soiled diapers and make him say, I only change his diaper once a day and make him stay in timeout. And what life is that? My God.
It is horrible. And, you know, a lot of people are saying it's because she hated the daddy. And like, I can see you having a grudge against a man, but don't take it out on a child.
Oh, no. Well, my grandson lives with me, but and my daughter and son-in-law, but they're very good to him. But even if they spank him, I'm like, whoa, no. Of course, I'm a grandparent, but I get to say them things. Now, on the Papa Bear situation, I was really on his side at first. And, you know, we live in small towns out here in Tennessee. And when you hire a bunch of people around you, to me, and hire a creator, it looked like.
Well, he ain't paying nobody. You know, when he had the private investigators, he wasn't paying them. He fired them.
Yeah.
Like, how do you fire somebody you ain't paying? How do you fire somebody that ain't working for you?
I know, you're fired. I
quit.
And
then you take everybody's money, and then you're like, F you. You're like,
yeah,
no, hold up, bro, hold up. And I was in this corner too, you know, until I got to where, hey, there's no defending this. This behavior is bad. And, you know, I don't support bad behavior.
I know. And then 1202 happened. And,
Oh Lord.
I mean,
I think that's what gave me the heart attack. Okay. That was the first.
it probably was.
That was the first.
It probably
That was the first blood vessel that closed up was at 1202. I was like, is that what I think it is? That was the first time I grabbed that's the first time I grabbed my chest. It's been downhill ever since.
But yeah, my feelings have changed. I don't know what to think about that case, but I do know that Baby Bear has been lost in all of this. I mean, it's just been a complete circus.
I agree. I agree that people have lost the reason we're here talking about it. You know,
I agree.
They're so much worried about fighting with each other that, you know, they lost sight of everybody needs to be searching. Even if you get along or don't get along, everybody needs to be trying to find answers for this little boy.
I agree. And the last thing I was going to say is, what did you think about Papa Bear's hairdo for court? Did you?
It was different. It was different. Maybe he was trying to maybe he was trying to dress as Post Malone because it's so close to Halloween. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's who you were calling Post Malone. I didn't catch it, but all right, Dolly. Thank you for all you do. I'm glad you're better. Love you. And
thank
PJ.
you. Thank you. You be good.
Right.
Stay safe.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. Peace. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what to think about the Three Little Bears story anymore. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Rita from Dexter.
Hey, Rita.
Summer got home from the hospital last night. I wanted to update you. She's doing good today. She had dialysis this morning, and they pulled all that extra fluid off of her. And now they said she's going to be fine until the transplant.
Okay. So, that is good.
So that's the good news about her.
Oh.
But I wanted to call in. We're back from the hospital and everything, and I wanted to call in and let you know what was going on with her. And I hear what you're talking about tonight, and I agree with you. I think something happened at the Bear's house. That's what I think happened, and I think it was covered up really well, extremely well. And I think that Stepdaddy Bear's got a lot of friends in a lot of high places.
Maybe.
And I think that's why Stepdaddy Bear and Mama Bear are all in the clear right now. If you ask me, they ain't going to get in any trouble until this baby bear gets found. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you might be right. I want to say thank you to Donna Clark real quick. It says justice for baby bear. I agree with that, you know, and thank you. Welcome aboard the train there, Donna. Jump on board, get you a seat. Yeah, Rita, I mean, something possibly could have happened at the den. A lot of people seem to think that or suspect that, you know, and if that's the case, then, you know, the police didn't see any signs of that. You know, like you said, was it something that was covered up really good, or was there something there was no, you know, usually for them to know that there's foul play, they need to find blood, and maybe there was no blood. But you know, in this world, there's a million ways to die. Everybody that dies don't bleed.
Oh yes.
You know, so.
Oh yes.
And you know, Papa Bear originally thought that Baby Bear was given too much medicine, and he.
Yep.
You know, so is that possible? You know, and I think the people that know them the best, or knows Katie the best, is, you know, somebody that's been around her. You know, Papa Bear.
Yeah, somebody that's been in her life, like Papa Bear's been in several years together, having Baby Bear together. Papa Bear knows more about Mama Bear than any of us know.
Oh yeah, of course.
Probably more about her than she knows herself.
And
honestly.
He was starting to tell it, and she was starting to say things on him, but then it they kind of reeled it back, because I'm sure, they both know what skeletons are in each other's closets, you know, and they don't want that out on either side.
Oh yes.
You know,
so and it's a shame. I couldn't imagine one of my kids. I have 6. I couldn't imagine any of my kids being, and me not knowing where they're at. I would be going literally crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't handle it. My kids are grown, and I call them. I'm like, I called my son earlier, and I said, you know what I said to him? He works at Walmart, and he was like, he's wanting to relocate here so he can be around his baby sister because she's getting ready to get this kidney. And he was like, Mom, he goes, I don't want to do this to you. And before he even said it, I said, son, why don't you just come back home?
Yeah.
He could tell what I was thinking, and he is going to come back home and stay with me for a while, and he's going to help me with summer. So
Awesome.
I couldn't imagine any of my kids and me not knowing where they're at or what they're doing. And all my kids always try to make it a point to come around and be in my life. We have Sunday dinners. We do everything we can do. And I don't understand Mama Bear in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. And that's just that's my opinion. It don't reflect off of the Dolly vision or anything, that you got going on in your program. But I believe she did something awful. And I believe that the big bull hit a bad enough nerve that they drug her through all of this they're dragging her through. And I think Papa Bear set the bull off.
Yeah.
And I think they have leered away from looking for Baby Bear, and everybody's concentrating on this huge situation that they are all doing and taken away from looking for Sebastian. Everybody made it to court, but nobody can make it to a vigil for that little baby bear. That's my problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I don't know what has happened in the beginning that all three bears were getting along enough, at least civilly, to communicate. But now it looks like there's no communication whatsoever between Step Bear, Mama Bear, and Papa Bear.
Now, I wanted to say something before I got off here with you. I know my time's running out, but I watched a video last night, and I had never seen the video. It came up as a suggestion, and the video has you in it. It has Go Harder Molly in it. It's got BHB in it. It had Justin in it. And it was when you got out of jail. And it was a great video. I loved it. Those girls were hollering at the jail. Like, you come out at the end. It was a great video. I hadn't watched that good of a video in a long time. And it was on the Horns videos. But I seen it last night. And I was like, I'm going to tell Dolly I saw that video. You guys look like you were all getting along and having a good old time out there.
My intro shows me the end of my intro. That's me getting out of jail.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I saw that.
I added it to my intro. And so it plays every time before I come live. When you see me waving, that's me waving at the police and the jail people as I'm walking out. I even tell the head dude at the jail, you'll see me look over and I say something to him. I said, I enjoyed my stay. I'll see you next time, is what I said to him.
But I will say this, out of all the videos I've watched with all y'all's true crime,
that
video where all of those YouTubers were standing together and fighting for you outside of that jail, I loved that video the most. Yeah. That video was great. And you came out and they were jumping up and down. And I love that. I watched that video last night, and it's on Betty's.
Yeah.
I didn't see Justin's or yours yet, but I've seen those. I finally got the suggestion. But you have to remember, I didn't get to start following any of you guys until Sebastian came on the scene. So the Leilani and stuff, all that stuff, I'm just now learning about.
Yeah.
So I'm still following all this. That's why I don't comment a lot on those, because I wasn't following them for the beginning, and I don't know all of that. But I trust you guys' discovery, and I believe everything. I believe you did stop somebody from getting hurt, and I believe all of that. And I'm just going to keep watching you guys, because I'm sorry. I love all of you guys. You guys are great.
All right. Well, you be good, Rita, and I will talk to you next time. All right.
All right. Bye, hon.
All right. Peace. All right. Let me share this story with y'all real quick. Okay. I'm closed the phone lines for 1 second. So when I went to jail in Savannah, all right, it's because I grabbed a bullhorn. I should have never did that. I learned that was a big mistake. I shouldn't have got pissed off like that and grabbed that lady's bullhorn. But so I get to jail. All right. And of course I get in there and they instantly tell me, hey, you got no bond. You're not going nowhere. Set up camp. And instantly, you know, when you go to jail, they take you to the nurse to see, check your blood pressure to make sure you're healthy enough to be in jail. So, they're telling me basically you got no bond. They dress me out, the whole squat, cough, spread your butt cheeks, the whole thing, give you a little jail outfit, and they throw me in a bullpen. Okay. So now I'm sitting in the bullpen with some gangbangers, because Savannah got a lot of gangs. Who knew? Okay. But I'm from the city. I'm used to crazy ass people. Right. And where I live is a lot crazier than Savannah. So I've been around worse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there asking the gangbangers, hey, well, what's the program here? You know what I'm saying? You know, like what goes down. They were like, well, you'll see the judge Monday. And it was like Friday. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm stuck here a few days with, you know, in this jail, and they're about to take me to, you know, they dress you out to take you to the back to put you in the pod. Okay. Right now I'm in the bullpen. So I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I ain't getting out. They done told me I ain't got no bond. But see, you got to remember, I don't know what's going on outside the jail, and I don't know who is talking to who. But here's one thing about Dolly. I made some friends while I was in Georgia. Okay. And some friends were really, really powerful. Okay. One lady, it was a multi-millionaire, and apparently she owned a bail bonds company. So when everybody came to the jail raising hell, the jail was not ran by Chief Hatley. Chief Hatley wanted me in jail. He made a joke that my address has changed and he put out the address, and that was the address of the jail. He was trying to be funny. Okay. But Chief Hatley don't run the jail. There's another dude that runs the jail, and he didn't want no parts of people outside the jail protesting. He's like, I don't want shit to do with it. And so basically the bonds lady called him, and I don't know what they talked about, but instantly I had a bond. It went from no bond to $2,900, about $3,000. Okay. So instantly they didn't change me out. I'm thinking they come to get me to go to the back. The dude's like, yo, you need to put your clothes back on. You got to go. And I'm like, huh, what? And he's like, yeah, you got a bond. And now I haven't posted the bond, right? I haven't posted the bond, right? He's like, you got a bond. But usually before they dress you back out, somebody has to bond you out. So I asked him, I said, well, can I pay the bond? He said, no, the bond's already been posted. So a while ago, I didn't have a bond, right? Now I have a bond, and it's already been paid. And I'm like, and he goes, and you got to dress out now. We got to get you out of here. The head dude in the jail wants you out immediately. And I was like, I still hadn't been fingerprinted yet. Okay. They hadn't fingerprinted me, processed me, or nothing. Right. So now I go back in the room. I put back on all my regular clothes. Right. And they walk me up to the lady that does the processing and the fingerprinting. And he goes, I need him processed. She goes, well, he's going to have to wait in line. There's like 7 people ahead of him. And the dude goes, no, he needs to be processed immediately, like right now, fingerprinted and released. And I was like, so I skipped the line of everybody waiting to be processed, right? Because they had lost power for an hour. When I got there, the power went out. Okay. So it was time to process people. There was a line of people that needed to be processed before me. Right. So as soon as I sat in the chair so the lady can ask me who I am, where I'm from, and all these things, she looks right at me and she goes, who do you know? Right. And you know me, by this point, I know I'm getting out. So I'm all cocky. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at the lady and I said, am I on the news? And this is no lie, right? You can't even make this shit up. The lady goes, why would you be on the news? Right. And then because they got a TV right here in the place, right? On the wall. Right. So I'm sitting there with the fingerprint lady. I look at her and said, am I on the news? And she asked me that question. She said, why would you be on the news? And so when she said that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not on the news. You know what I'm saying? Right when I said it, I mean, not even 30 seconds later, boom, there's my face right on the news on the TV in the jail. I'm like, and everybody's sitting there looking at the news and looking at me. Right. And then the girl goes, then she walks me over to the fingerprint girl. She goes, you're a blogger? And I was like, yeah, I guess that was the quickest way to say, you know, I don't really consider myself a blogger, just more of a YouTuber, you know? But I was like, yeah, she was like, oh, okay. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And she starts fingerprinting me quick. And she goes, you're here about the girl that murdered her baby. And I was like, yeah. She goes, well, trust me, when they do arrest her, I'll make sure I give her a warm welcome for you. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But that's what the fingerprint lady said. She goes, don't worry, you know, she'll be here before long. That's what the lady told me, right? Then they processed me, fingerprint me, and they instantly walked me out to jail. So the part y'all see in the intro is when they walk me out to jail, because they're watching me on the news at this point, right? Right after I say it, boom, there I am. And here's the thing, you know, they said people were arrested at Leilani's house, but they didn't show their pictures, right? My picture they showed, they gave my personal name and also said, this is the YouTuber Dolly Vision. But and these dudes out there, you know, these reporters that did this to me on the news, these were the same ones that I was feeding information to. That's why I don't like none of the news in Georgia, because they did me dirty, right? They didn't go up there and talk about Wanda and all the other people that got arrested and show their mug shots and their real names and all that shit. They just said protesters got arrested at the Quinton Simon house. But when it was me, they made sure that and look, I just took the mug shot. Right? I had just took the mugshot. I'm thinking, how the hell did the news get my mugshot that fast? I just took it. Soon as I took that mugshot and they got it, they ran that shit on the news. Soon as they got it, I had only took that mugshot 5 or 10 minutes before it aired on the news. So within 5 or 10 minutes of me taking that picture, it is on the damn news in the jail. Okay? I was just like, this is crazy. And then I lost a lot of respect for the news at that point. I was like, these that's the shit start. See if I give y'all any more information, right? I wasn't going on their news and talking to them, but I was giving them information, things that I was hearing and what was going on. That's how, you know, Brett Buffington knew where they were at Tybee Island, is because of me, right? If you notice, when I'm running up, there's a dude following me. That is the dude from the news. When he seen me running, he knew I was going somewhere and he started chasing me, right? To see where the hell I was going. And then, of course, I run up on Leilani, Billy Joe, the biker dude, and they're outside with a woman and a kid. Right? So I had been giving these people information and things like that. And then they did me dirty on the news. And I just thought then, I was like, okay, you know, that's when I was like, you can't trust the news people down there. They're kind of like shady and they're way worse than YouTubers. Like, I don't know, but that's kind of how that went down. I literally got kicked out of jail. Has anybody ever been kicked out of jail? Usually you get locked up. They don't want to let you out. Right. And then, you know, everybody that I was just in the cell with, they're looking at me like, how the hell is this dude getting out and we ain't? You know, why do we got to sit here till Monday, but this guy don't, you know? But what it was that bondsman is a multi-millionaire from Georgia. She drives a damn Bentley, lives in a mansion. And I don't know if she knew the dude at the jail personally, but then they still had to have somebody sign for me, right? From Georgia. You can't bond somebody out. You know, somebody still has to sign for you. And there was a lovely couple that I met when I was down there that took me out to dinner, and I went out, hung out with them for dinner and sat down with them and chilled with them and, you know, talked about the case and life and things. So, you know, it's good to be nice to people and treat everybody nice, right? Because these same people are people that put their name up on me to get out of jail. So I get out of jail. I don't know the bonds lady, never met her, never seen her, nothing, right? So I call up and they're like, hey, you know, you're welcome for getting you out of jail. We know you didn't do anything wrong. And when this lady, I'm not the only person they ever bonded out of jail for absolutely free. They bonded out somebody else that did something, but they didn't feel he was guilty. And if this lady don't feel like you're guilty of the crime or you shouldn't be in jail, she will get you out absolutely free. Okay. She got me out absolutely free. She wanted one thing from me. Right. And she goes, well, we do want to ask one thing from you. You need to take a picture with Ruby. And I was like, okay, I didn't know who Ruby was. Had no clue. Right. I'm thinking, okay, well, Ruby, somebody watches the show, but Ruby wasn't somebody who watched. Maybe Ruby watched the show. I don't know. Ruby was a Georgia bulldog. Okay. It is this millionaire's bulldog. So I go in, their bonds place is set up like a Barbie doll shop, right? It's all pink, fuzzy seats, and like it looks like Barbie's dream palace. Okay, I ain't lying to you. Anybody from Savannah know about the blonde bombshell bondsman? Her shit is like Barbie world. Like you walk right into Barbie world. Like everything's pink, giant chairs, and they fuzzy, and I mean the whole shit is bright pink. So I'm thinking Ruby is a person, right? And they're locking the doors to the place. And I'm like, why are they locking the doors? Right. But apparently this Georgia Bulldog is real expensive. So they let this dog out, and the dog is Ruby. Okay. So there's a picture floating somewhere. I don't know if it's in the lady's house or what, but it's a picture of me holding this Georgia Bulldog. Maybe I can hit them up and see if I can get that picture, of me and Ruby. But that's all she wanted to get me out of jail, was for me to take a picture with her damn dog. Okay. I could have understood if she wanted to take a picture selfie with me, because she watched, right? The bonds lady actually watched. The people that got me out of jail were her workers. She called them up and said, get Dolly out of jail. And that's what they did. But far as her, I never even met her, right? I never met her. I know she watches the show. So thank you, Blonde Bombshell. And if you're in Savannah and you go to jail, all right, call the Blonde Bombshell. All right. Tell her Dolly sent you, and she's going to take care of you. Okay. No doubt, no questions. That is the person to go to in Georgia. And if you do get out, make sure you pet Ruby for me, because Ruby is cool as shit. All right. So true story. You can't make it up. So then they called me back up and said, hey, next time you're in Savannah, we got a t-shirt for you. And you know what their t-shirts say? Jail sucks. Okay. And I was like, okay, if I get back down there, when I do, I will get the t-shirt. Right. And then they told me what lawyer to hire. They were like, okay, you don't want to go to jail? Hire this guy. You won't even have to come back. So I listened to the Blonde Bombshells people. I got the lawyer that they recommended, and I never had to show back up in Georgia. So everything worked out like you couldn't even make it up, right? And when you see me coming out of jail, this is the weirdest shit, right? Every day had deputies lined up all the way down the fence, right? You would have thought damn Tom Cruise or Val Kilmer was getting out of jail, right? I guess everybody wanted to see who I was, or had been watching what was going on out in Buckhalter. But there was like 20 deputies lined up down the fence, and the main dude from the jail was the very last guy. When I walk out that gate in the intro and I look to my left, that is the dude that runs the jail. But what I found out is he said, listen, whatever's going on out there, we don't want it here, right? We don't want people protesting in jail. We don't want people out front of the jail screaming. We ain't got nothing to do with this. Let them out. So they didn't want me there. So basically they kicked my ass up out of jail, right? I was like, damn. So I doubt I ever get that lucky again. I ain't chancing it. I ain't pushing my luck. But it's good to know you never know who is watching you on the channel, right? Right now there's 1,235 people. Some of y'all could be millionaires. Some of y'all could be broke living in a cardboard box. Some of y'all could have friends in high places. Some of y'all might not know anybody, but you just never know. And that's a good reason to treat everybody good and love your people that watch it, is because you never know when one of you people are going to come out to the rescue. And I know it can happen firsthand, right? So if it wasn't for somebody and the chaos and powerful people, I would have been sitting in jail for at least 3 days. And here's the thing is, I'm not from Georgia. So I figured when I went in front of the judge, I was getting ready to, in my mind, I was telling myself, I'm going to be here for 3 months. I'm going to be here for about 3 months in this jail, right? I had accepted it in my mind. I was like, when I go to court, they're not going to give me a bond because I'm a flight risk, right? I'm not from here. Even though I was born in Georgia, they're going to be like, hey, you can run back to Virginia. These are misdemeanor charges. You might not never come back. And I knew they wasn't going to give me a bond. I was like, they ain't going to give me a bond. Because, in Virginia, if you're not from here and you come here and you get in trouble, your ass ain't going home. You're going to sit here until you go to court for your charges. And you know how court systems are. They usually make your court from 30 to 90 days away. So I already figured that I was going to do 90 days in jail for grabbing that bullhorn. I was like, okay, I'm here for 90 days. I'm better set up camp, because you got to accept it quick, because you don't want to be sitting up in there miserable. So you just got to be like, all right, I'm going to do my 90 and swoles, but everything worked out the way it did. Thank God. Okay. Thank God. But, I never forgot that Georgia thing. And you know how I said I'm going to put 25% of all sales from Dolly soap towards, families in need. So that's why last year that I picked a family from Georgia. I picked a family that was out there in front of Quinton Simon's house that were protesting. They had 2 autistic children, and I thought they were the perfect people, right? Because I wanted to help people from where I was covering cases. So that's why I helped Brandy Neal in Fruitland, Ohio, because I had been out in Fruitland, Ohio. I had been out in Quinton Simon's house. These people were in front of Quinton Simon's house. I figured I'd help them. And then I helped one person that wasn't anywhere I was at. But it was just like, you know, let me give back to some of these people from where I've been. And, you know, this year, you know, maybe we will pick a family from Tennessee, because I did a lot of stuff in Tennessee this year between Summer Wells and Quinton Simon, mostly, not Quinton Simon, but Baby Bear. So maybe we will help a family from those areas, okay, this year. And then maybe since I did a little time in Boston and New Hampshire, maybe we'll pick somebody. New Hampshire be a good place, okay, because I was up there for the Adam Kayla Montgomery case. So help a family from New Hampshire this year, help a family from Tennessee, help a family from maybe Boston. All right. Maybe those 3 places will find a family in need. And like I said, 25% of all profits that come into buydollysoap.com, whether it be a t-shirt, soap, lotion, body wash, mystery box, whatever we sell, we will put that in our Christmas wish fund, and we're going to bless some people. All right. Long story, I know, but I had to share that. Now I will open the phone lines back up. I got about 10 minutes that I can hang out with you guys, and then I got to wrap it up for the night. I got some Blacklist to watch, and I want to grab me some stuff to snack on. So if you want to chop it up about the Leilani case or the Baby Bear, feel free to call in. The call in numbers on the screen, 757-797-6694. But like I said, in the Leilani case, I think the babysitter's daughter is going to be the one that does Leilani Simon in. You know, and like I said, she's charged with 19 charges. 3 of those charges are murder charges. Now, I don't think they're going to hit her with 3 murder charges because she didn't murder 3 people. But I do believe that they hit her with so many different ones that one of them will stick. Even the defense said, how many bites of the apple do they get? Right? Because she's charged with everything you could be charged with and some. And there's no way she's going to be convicted of all 19 counts, because you can't charge her with 3 counts of murder. She only murdered 1 baby. So, but she's charged with 3 different versions of murder. Murder with malice. I forget what the other murder charge is, but they did that so one of those charges would stick. I truly believe that. And the rest of the charges, you know, she's young. She's only 22. If she's convicted of everything and she gets off of these murders, say she uses the Casey Anthony defense, she uses, you know, the Adam Montgomery defense, Danny did it, or anything, or, you know, the postpartum, and people feel sorry for her that she wasn't in her right mental state of mind. Now, she ain't pleading insanity. So, and if she got a jury, so they have to go by the guidelines. They can't say, well, she was mentally unfit to stand trial now, because that's not an option. They can only find her guilty or not guilty. Now, a judge, if she would have went in front of a judge and not selected a jury, a judge could go, okay, well, you wasn't in your right mental state of mind. I'm going to give you so long in prison and suspend time. What a jury cannot do is suspend time.
Dolly, it's Richard. What's up?
What's up, Richard?
I didn't know if your phone lines or not. I just got off the rig and I popped up the phone and I saw that you were on, so I called and I was like, I wonder if his phone lines are open.
Yeah, well, they're open for the next few minutes until I get up out of here.
Okay, what was tonight about? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, we were talking about Leilani and what I think is the prime witness in the case, which is the young lady that is the babysitter's daughter. Yeah. She will go on the stand. Well, from my understanding, Monday. She's one of the first witnesses, and I think she holds the most damaging evidence against Leilani Simon.
Wow, I think you're starting to see another side of the table, maybe, huh?
Yeah,
I think if you're going to get off or get 5 years, or
I mean, I'm still worried about that because we don't know what her defense is yet. We will know Monday.
Okay, does she have a hired lawyer or just a court-appointed lawyer?
I believe her lawyer's court-appointed.
Okay, so in Georgia, that's not going to matter. I don't think. I think that state is like way like trying to make a name for itself all of a sudden since the Ahmaud Arbery trial. I think it is trying to prove that they're not going to tolerate anything when it comes to children at all.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know, I could be wrong.
they know they're going to have eyes on it because they know the world is watching because they allow Court TV and Law and Crime to come in and broadcast it.
Yeah, and you're talking about it, so there's another 60,000 plus watching it.
Yeah, I'm going
everybody-
to be broadcasting it live. I'll be here for the whole trial.
Good, I'm so ready because I'm off Monday and Tuesday next week, so I'll at least get the two probably first days of it.
Yeah. I'm even done set my alarm clock. You know, I'm going to try to set so I can be up because I'm usually not up that early, but I'm getting up. I'm getting up early for it to cover it.
Wow, that's good. Because what it's going to come on at what time, like in your state?
9 East Coast.
9 there. So what are you right now?
What time is it here where I'm at?
I'm 11 right now.
It's 12:13. I'm an hour ahead of you.
Okay, I'm 11:13 in Texas. All right, so you're an hour. So at 9 your time. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I need that. Yeah, that's cool. You're an hour basically ahead of me.
Yeah, and so is Georgia. They run Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so y'all the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you show it at 9, I need to be on at 8, basically.
Yeah, it'll be 8 for you, 9 for me.
And then I wonder how long is it? Will it take like all day or?
Yeah, it'll go all day, especially in the
You're
beginning.
gonna broadcast the whole thing all day?
Yeah, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, and then I'm going to talk about it and take calls.
Good.
So
I
during
can just pop on and pop off. Then that'll be good.
Yeah, so like during breaks and during lunchtime, I'll be taking phone calls about what you guys think are going on in the case.
Oh,
I may even have it where you can come up on panel where you can actually pop up on the screen and talk about the case. A couple people come up with me to discuss the case. So yeah, that'll be Monday through
You got a
Friday.
bunch of new subbers in the last 10 days. I see. Huh?
Yeah, thank you guys for everybody that has subbed up.
I told everybody in Florida if they needed to put any word out or put anything out for help or anything to sub up to your channel and post it, and I would get it. I said I watch every show. If y'all want to try to call in or come on and just say, hey, you know, Richard, we need this, we need that, whatever, I will be happy to come back and bring y'all what I can, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a real good case for me to cover because I know everything about it, you know, everything that went on. And so what better insight to get?
Galvez, what is it? Kaylee Gonzalez. That I think you're going to cover that one, right? The Brian Kohlberger case.
Yes, at some point I'm even going to go out there. And here's the problem is there's 2 cases that start on Monday. One case is Leilani, and the other big case is the Delphi murders. They both start
that's the one
Monday.
you really want.
Right. But here's the thing is I'm so invested from being down there and, you know, and being involved in the Quinton Simon case that I'm going to cover the Quinton Simon case. And then as soon as that one wraps up, I'm going to jump over to the Delphi case.
Yeah. I don't think that the Quinton Simon case will last more than probably a week or 2.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to last more than a week. So what I'm thinking about doing is Monday is in the morning, I'm going to be covering, course, Leilani Simon, because you know I'm so invested in that one. And then in the evening time, I'm going to go over what happened in the Delphi case. So you'll get Leilani in the morning, and then at night you'll get what's going on in the Delphi case. I'm going to recap what happens each day because I can't cover both of them live at the exact same time. So I'm going in the morning time, I'm going to do Leilani. In the evening time, I'm going to go over every day of the Delphi case.
So the Delphi is in what state?
Indiana. Delphi, Indiana.
So it's at the same time as you in Georgia?
I don't know, but I ain't going to cover it till nighttime anyway, so it don't really matter. I'm not.
No, because what I was going to say is like the lunch break, you know, that hour and a half or whatever.
Oh, I may be able to do that. Jump over from one to the other. Yeah, when there's breaks, yeah, I can do that.
Just to kind of get a little bit of both so we can kind of grab, because I really don't know nothing about the Delphi other than what you've talked about it.
Yeah, well, one thing I did learn, and this is good, because, you know, I thought, hey, they're going to railroad the shit out of Richard Allen because they're saying he can't use expert witnesses. They're trying to make it where it's not completely televised. And now they're bringing in Keegan Kline. All right. And I've been saying, if they don't have Keegan Kline, how do you find this man guilty? Because you got to connect these 2 people. And, you know, a lot of people in the Delphi group, they think that Keegan has nothing to do with it, but he catfished these girls. He's the one that led them there. And not only that,
okay.
not only that is after these girls, Abby and Libby, were murdered, right? He hit up another girl under the Anthony Shots account, and this girl was getting off the school bus, and she seen a man at her window in a black ski mask, and she got off the bus and ran. Okay, she did the right thing and then reported it. So if they're saying Richard Allen is this guy that did this, well, who was the man that was at the other girl's window? Was that Keegan Klein?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So there's some shit in this, and you know, I don't know what is going on, but it is a strange.
They work together.
They have to be to make it make sense.
Yeah,
you know, and if they can't time together, how do you find this man guilty? You know, the biggest evidence they got against him is an unspent bullet casing. He wanted to bring in an expert on bullet casings, and they denied him bringing in an expert witness on ejected bullet casings.
So they're just trying to hang him no matter what.
No matter what. No matter what. He has confessed right over the phone, but you know, by this time he's eating newspaper and acting crazy, and he gets on the phone and confesses. But
oh shit.
Yeah, he had been on a hunger strike and eating paper and all kinds of weird shit before he confessed.
You don't know if that other dude just made him. Maybe they were working together. Maybe they need to check cell phone data or something.
I mean, I don't know. I just know that Keegan is never getting out of prison. He's been charged with over 100 counts of CP, child. You know the word. And he's already done. It's Richard Allen they're bringing up on the murder. But to me, I've always thought Keegan Klein is the killer. I mean, he was the one communicating with him. Richard Allen never.
You're so into that.
Richard Allen never communicated with Abby and Libby. Keegan Klein did.
That is weird.
Richard Allen ain't Anthony Shots. Anthony Shots is Keegan Klein. So they were trying in the court, they were trying to make it where he couldn't bring up Keegan Klein. Now they done subpoenaed Keegan Klein to court. So they're going to have to talk about him.
Good. Maybe that's what needed to happen.
Exactly what needed to happen, because you get in front of a jury and you go, well, this is Anthony Shots. This was the man talking to Abby and Libby right here. There's doubt.
They're both in on it.
Maybe they're
both there in the woods.
Maybe they're both in on it, or Keegan or Richard Allen is innocent.
Oh man, that would suck.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, you got to explain it. You got to make it make sense. And right now, it don't make sense.
I see now exactly. See, I was wondering. I was like, why?
I've been following this case for 6. I've been following this case for 6 years. Not live on YouTube, but I was into the Delphi murders before I even had a true crime channel. I seen it on like a TV show, and it just interested me. So I'd get on YouTube before I even had a channel, and I would look up stuff on the Delphi murders.
Damn.
Just like the West Memphis 3. I started following the West Memphis 3. I didn't have a true crime channel. I didn't know nothing about YouTube. I just watched true crime.
2 channels. You have 2 channels, right?
Yeah.
Well, put one on each channel.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, you might as well. And I'm not sure that they're going to broadcast the Delphi.
So PJ on one and you on the other.
Yeah, maybe that could work.
Show everything to everybody.
Yeah. Well, either way, if I had to do one in the morning and one at night, I'm going to cover it all anyway.
I'm just saying if PJ could do that, or maybe Tiff or somebody could at least just be there, like while it's running, like, hey, just use both channels, utilize both of your channels to help the world see it. Yeah,
maybe. We'll see how it goes. But all right, Richard, I'm out of time, man. I got to get ready to roll.
Good, brother.
All right,
brother.
You be good.
Peace.
Yeah, guys, there's a lot going on Monday. All right. Like I said, Delphi starts. Damn, you got Leilani, but I'm going to cover Leilani because that's only going to be a week. And then, of course, here, soon as Leilani ends, we jump over to the Delphi murders. There's a lot of mystery in the Delphi murders, just like I was explaining to Richard with the Keegan Klein stuff and them denying a lot of the rights of, Richard Allen in trial. Like, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't have this expert witness. But the prosecution gets all their expert witnesses, right? And this man's defending his life. And he says that he was forced to confess. Now, I don't know if he was forced to confess or he was losing his mind being locked in a cell and said he did it. I don't know. But if for anybody that knows about the Keegan Klein stuff and the state police searching for, in the beginning, before they knew who the bridge guy was, they learned of Anthony Shots. They learned that Abby and Libby were talking to Anthony Shots, which is a dummy account on Instagram or Snapchat. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Snapchat. And they, they were trying to find out who Anthony Shots was. And then, of course, when it was tracked down, they learned that Anthony Shots was Keegan Klein. Keegan Klein confessed to talking to Abby and Libby as Anthony Shots. And what he was doing was trying to get nude pictures and things like that. He portrayed himself as a young man trying to hit on young little girls and to trade pictures and things like this. And when he was busted, he was caught with over 100 images of CP, kind of like Stephen Stearns. So he has already been sentenced to like 160 years or something. He got so long, he ain't never getting out. But to me, he is the Delphi killer. And when they said they had made an arrest, or they were going to announce the arrest of, at the killer of Abby and Libby, I thought they were going to come out and tell the world that Keegan Klein is the killer and they already have him in custody. All right. But that ain't what they did. They basically came out and said some totally different shit. All right. And said Richard Allen did it. And then they tried to separate the two. You can't separate the two. You can't, because Richard Allen didn't know about that other little girl that had a dude in a mask at her window. So there's a lot of these people on the Delphi groups that are just uneducated in the case, right? But you got to be, the court system, even like in the book, I said the court system has to be fair. You can't violate people's rights and things like that. It has to be fair. And if you convict it fairly, then you deserve what you get. But if you're being tried unfairly, where you can't have your witnesses, you're trying to make it where you can't call this dude in, it's not fair for Richard Allen, right? He does deserve a fair chance at a fair trial. Just like Brian Kohlberger, I think he did it, but he deserves a fair trial. I think he's getting the king treatment. But all these people do deserve a fair trial. What if it was me or you, right? And they had me up there. Monday is a holiday, no court. The court starts on the 14th. Okay. I don't know if it's Lincoln Day, what day, but there is court on the 14th. All right. I don't know why people they're broadcasting it on the 14th. I think it's Lincoln Day, ain't it? Or something like that. What holiday is it? I don't think Georgia courts celebrate it. So everybody deserves a fair trial. Me, you, anybody. O.J. Simpson, what I'm saying? Everybody deserves that fair trial. And people should get it. You shouldn't be railroading people into prison without it being completely fair. And Columbus Day, okay? Is that the 14th? Okay, it's Columbus Day. All right. Well, I just know court starts the 14th. All right. Day's Friday the 12th. Saturday be the 13th. Wait, Sunday. No, it's after 12. So it's already Saturday. 13th would be Sunday. 14th, Monday. Monday is court. All right. That's what Court TV's advertising. That's what it said on the news. Begins Monday. We just watched it.
Their testimony is also admissible as prosecutors aim to show what they say is Simon's animosity towards Quinton's father and by extension.
But anyway, yeah, it's the 14th. Yes, it is the 14th. See, so I don't know if they don't celebrate that holiday in Georgia or the court systems don't celebrate it. Dolly better check. I know it's the 14th. I ain't got to check it. I done heard it 50 times. It's the 14th. I don't care if it's damn Christmas. It's the court starts Monday. All right. Monday is court. Y'all be here. Have your court suits on. Don't braid your hair like Papa Bear. All right. No crip walking into the courtroom when you tune in Monday. All right. Dolly will be here with you. We're going to court Monday. All right. So be ready. Wear your best outfit. All right. Wash your hair. Don't show up with no greasy ass hair. And you can use Dolly soap. Okay. Great. Makes great shampoo. I wash my hair with it. BuyDollySoap.com. And I believe the promo code for 15% off is Happy Halloween. Okay. If it ain't, it will be. I know one of the promo codes for 10% off is wash your flaps. Now say it with me. BuyDollySoap.com. All right. Remember it. Love it. Go support it because, like I said, it's going to help a few families at Christmas. So go pick you up some bars, wash your ass cracks and your titty flaps. You'll smell wonderful. It helps Dolly. It helps the channel. It helps, families in need. And I can't do it without you. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. Y'all tell me, do you think the babysitter's daughter is going to want to be tied a noose around Leilani's neck? All right. Because I think once this little girl testifies, Leilani is done. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments when this video ends. Not in the side chat because I won't see it. Right. But in the comment box down below. And about the 3 little bears. Do they want this cub found? That's my question. Do they want the baby bear found? Let me know in the comment after this video. And if you ain't liked the video yet, guys, there's 1,163 of you here. Make sure you like the video. And if you're cool, share this video on your Facebook, My Ugly Face. It helps us grow. It helps new subscribers. We're not too far from 60,000. It's been a long journey from 59 to 60. So help me out if you can. Tell a friend about Dolly Vision, and it'll help us grow. You guys have been excellent tonight. Cool phone calls. Good talking to you. And just remember, if nobody else out there loves you, Dolly loves you. All right. And just, let me leave with this. Welcome to the wonderful world of Dolly's luxurious lather. Some of the best soap in the world. And it comes in some of your favorites. Why have ordinary? You can have extraordinary. It's like driving a brand new Lambo down the street instead of an 81 Buick. Made from all natural ingredients, no harsh chemicals. This soap will leave you as smooth as a pimp with a limp. Check it out now at BuyDollySoap.com. And also, you can save 10% when you use the promo code Wash Your Flaps. All right, peace, guys. Love you.